Hey everybody, I wanted to show you my sealed deck. I've been playing around with a build that I'm actually quite liking. You can see here that it's green and white. I think the typical hope is that everyone gets a lot of good black, because black has a ton of removal. I was not very lucky with black, but I was very lucky with green and with white. So first I'm going to show you what I do have. I like to order by cost. So I do have some white protection here. So Condemn is kind of a poor man's Swords of the Plowshares. I don't like that the creature goes to the bottom of its owner's library. I'd rather it get exiled like with Swords of the Plowshares, but considering the format, I think any sort of removal is probably a good thing to have. And from there I have Stave Off, which I'm hoping will give my creatures the much needed protection. Actually really like Stave Off. I think for only 1 mana it does a huge thing there. So then I get to one of my powerhouses here, the Primordial Hydra. Very happy to see him. He's one of my favorite cards from the last game, D14. So I think something like Stave Off is going to be huge for keeping the Primordial Hydra alive. Obviously, the longer the game goes, the better he gets, and I think that's anything I can do to keep him alive is going to help. From there I have 3 Deadly Recluse. So I have all 3 that I pulled currently in my deck. I was unsure about it, but he has Reach and Death Touch. So for only 2 mana, he's got a small body, only 1/2, but really, how many creatures are going to have Death Touch? I think I'm going to have a huge advantage just knowing that anybody he goes up against will die. And with the Reach, that pretty much means almost everybody. So then I have a Swiftfoot Boots, which I have in here for the hexproof protection, again for things like my Primordial Hydra. And then I have some more control with a couple pacifisms. A Rampant Growth. I actually pulled a second Rampant Growth. At the last second I decided to take it out, only because there's just not enough space. I'd love to have so many other things. So then the real superstar, the gem, the jewel, the focus of my deck, 3 Dungrove Elders. Along with Primordial Hydra, Dungrove Elder was my other favorite card from last year. As you can probably guess, the Garruk deck last year, Pack Instinct, was my favorite deck. And I don't know if it's pure chance or luck or what have you, but I got a lot of the cards that I love in this build. So then I have a couple Oaken forms. I think I have 1 or 2 more that I actually pulled. I'm only going with 2 here because, again, there's just not enough space, and when it comes down to it, I could get 2 for 1. It's a nice little a buffer, but yeah, there's only just so much space for it. Eventually you just gotta have some creatures. Then I have the Charging Griffin. I like the Charging Griffin because he flies, and every time he attacks he becomes a slightly larger threat. I think he might be my only white creature. The Briarpack Alpha is a nice buff, not only for the fact that he's Flash, but also the +2/+2, so that's a nice combo trickery. The Rumbling Baloth is one of the larger bodies I have in this deck. A card that I think is just going to be huge in this format, Indestructibility. Yeah, that and the Primordial Hydra. What a ridiculous combination. Then Hunt the Weak, which is really the only straight up removal, I guess. Well, that's not true, but it's the only thing I have that I think pretty much guarantees, if used wisely, that my more dominant creatures stay in the game. Plus, the +1/+1 counter is great. And then I guess this is my beast of the deck, the Yavimaya Worm. I don't know how often he'll actually see play, but I like the trample aspect. That's why I decided to keep him. So I also have 11 forests, 2 plains, and then I have the 2 Terramorphic Expanse. So I don't have a lot of plains in here, mainly because all of my plains are 1-drops. This was intentional. Yeah, I'm actually debating going for a mono green. I like the protection that white gives, but let's show you what I'm not using for green. So Fog was in my deck for a little bit, and the Giant Growth was in my deck for a little bit. I like the Fog because no one ever plays Fog, so no one ever expects it. But I decided, you know what, I think white for protection, green for aggression is the right way to go. So Giant Growth would be perfect for that, but I really would like to try keeping this deck to 40 cards, so it had to go. I do have a full play set of Predatory Slivers. I decided to not use them because they only really give me advantage when I have others on the board. I mean, obviously if I had a Sliver deck it'd be different, but I don't. So unless I have all 4 Predatory Slivers, or even 3 Predatory Slivers, I'm just not sure if they're worth my time. And there's that Rampant Growth. It still might see the light of day, just not right now. So Advocate the Beast would only really be great if I had other beasts. So there are my 2 other Oaken forms. Who knows? If I go mono green, obviously they'd go in. Just not sure right now. And then Might of the Oaks. Actually, when I was playtesting this deck, Might of the Oaks won me more than one game. It actually won me a couple games. The 7/7 is quite nice, especially for only 4. But yeah, it just didn't make the cut. So I also want to go through white a little bit. So Fiend Hunter very, very nearly made this deck. What a great control card. I was scared away by the 2 plain cost. Griffin Sentinel was okay for a little bit. I ended up pulling them. I'd love to have Solemn Offering in there as another form of control. I just don't know where it would go. And then the Sarah Angel is a large body that I'm not running. Again, because of the 2 mana cost, the 2 plane cost, should I say, it just scares me away. I don't think I'm ever really going to get 2 planes on the board reliably. Even if I did, I'd normally probably be wishing I had just the 1. Because once I have a plane on the board, I do not need another plane on the board. All I want are forests. So I don't really have anything else too great. I considered blue for a little bit because I do have some unsummons and some fog banks. So, and with a turn to frog, I probably could actually get a little bit of control going here. Essence Scatter. Yeah, it's an option. You know, the Archaeomancer. I think I actually got pretty lucky overall with my pulls. I just, in the end, I thought, you know, I wasn't really feeling the blue. I think when I saw the Dungrove Elders, I was like, okay, it's green. It's got to be a lot of green. But, you know, going over my blue now, it's actually not too bad. Black, yikes. So let me show you what I got for black. I think the Distress isn't bad. And I also don't mind Rise from the Grave. That's always nice to see. And really, I think whoa, how many Minotaur Abominations did I get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Minotaur Abominations? That's crazy. And then Public Execution. Public Execution for 6 mana. That's an expensive removal spell, so I thought no. I actually did pretty decently with red. 2 of my rares are red. I'll get to those in a second. Let me start from the beginning here. Sorry, if you don't know, the iPad has this weird issue of sticking. It's not like last year's where everything was just so responsive to the touch. Here you really kind of have to work to it. So I think this is my only other sliver, the striking sliver. The striking sliver, I like to call him Predator, because he looks exactly like Predator. Still not worth it to play, say, a green-red. I got a few goblins and a shock. The only thing that would tempt me to play red here, Active Treason is a nice control card. The only thing that would, really tempt me to play control would be Awaken the Ancient. I pulled 2 of them, which I guess is cool. I just don't really feel like I have a strong enough deck to go mono red, which is, to me, the only reason to play Awaken the Ancient. Beyond that, there was just really nothing that called to me. And then let's see the artifacts. So if I do decide to go mono green, I think I might actually try the Staff of the Wild Magus, just because literally everything I play would be better for it. Beyond that, I do have a couple creatures that I seriously considered. The Crumbling Colossus, I think I would definitely keep him in if he did not have that sacrifice it at the end of turn stipulation. Even if it was, 5-4, I think for that cost I would still keep it. I did get the Phyrexian Hulk, which is, I guess, close enough. But yeah, without the trample, it's not worth it. If I had the Door to Nothingness, where I was playing a rainbow deck, or even if I had more than 2 colors, I think those creatures would probably make their way in, just because the mana restrictions wouldn't be there. But I do have a really strong green-white deck, and I could go mono green, I could go green blue, so I think I could go blue white even. Let me show you the, I think I went through the whites. So yeah, I think in the end I did the right thing by going with the build that I did. I'd love to see what you guys have been building, so if you have any videos, please link them to my video or comment about them below. Otherwise, stick around and I'll show you guys another video, maybe me playing the game, playing my sealed deck online for the very first time. I think that'll be the next video coming up. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think.